What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Ambition Over Fear platform, and to welcome you guys into this arena of truth and a sanctuary of self-joy. I want you to understand that no matter where you're at, no matter what you're going through, there is always a way to propel beyond where you're currently at so you can get to where you want to be. And if you're here right now, one of the main reasons is because you are an empath and you would like to know what makes you special, because you might have gone through your life and your empathic abilities have made you feel very drained. And so you're yearning to understand what part of your empathic archetype is truly here to serve you and not take away from you. So first, I want to get into the idea that an empath is a very unique soul class. See, as we move through the galactic realm, we come to an understanding that every soul is an interdimensional being, and every soul is on its own mission to expand and grow in whatever way it sees fit. So your soul has had reincarnations in different bodies here on Earth. And on top of it, if you are feeling as if this time around there is something more for you to be doing than just experiencing the five senses of this third dimensional realm, then you're right. Because what is happening is your soul is trying to connect back to the other reincarnations it has had in different planets and different dimensions as different angels and aliens and beings. And you're trying to realign that reincarnation and the awareness and the power of energy you had in that reincarnation to the reincarnation you're currently in, which is on Earth in the third dimension. So as you move forward, I want you to truly come to an awareness that by you fulfilling your soul's desire, you are understanding what is the significant reincarnations that your soul has had in alignment with what you have to do in this body in this lifetime. So when we're going through and going to coaches or psychics and we're trying to uncover the different reincarnations our soul has had by searching the akashic records, which is simply a universal library of all the information that has ever existed and will ever exist. Because as you go beyond the experience of being a human and using the fourth dimension to translate fifth dimensional thought into third dimensional matter, time becomes more of a location where something happened that you can search in the electrical quantum field of your imagination, rather than a linear process of one thing happening after another. So it's not really past lives or future lives or current lives. It's really every single reincarnation that you have had is happening right now in a different dimension, possibly on a different planet. And other reincarnations that you have had in this body are happening in the third dimension, but in a different horizontal frame. So you have vertical dimensions, which is 1 to 13, and then you have horizontal dimensions, which basically is different experiences that you are having within the same dimension. So as you come into that awareness, what really comes into your cells and your heart and your joyful mind is that from this position in this body, you're actually able to tap into any reincarnation that you have ever had, and you're actually able to alter any reincarnation that you have ever had. because you are now predominantly in a human body. Even as you astral travel and you become aware of the different reincarnations you may have had, you're pivoting from this reincarnation. This is your focus, and you're bringing everything around it and into this particular experience. And with that being said, quantum entanglement is a very real thing, which is a theory of physics that says one particle on the opposite side of the universe is connected to another particle on the entire other side of the universe. And whenever particle A changes, it automatically alters particle B. So what this tells us is that everything is connected, and when we do something in one reincarnation, it changes the energetic flow in another reincarnation. And how do we know when we do something in this reincarnation, and how are we aware of what reincarnations we are affecting? By pivoting in this reincarnation, is having an understanding of a common theme. A common theme is similar to if you are on Google and you search a word, then hundreds and thousands of searches come up with that word. So right now, if you're healing anxiety or being energetically drained, every reincarnation that has anxiety or energetic drainage as something that may have occurred will be stringing along the same current of energy. So the reason I'm telling you this is because you, as an empath, there are many options in a way you can look at how this is a gift in your life. But the first option is, we're going to say that you have had other reincarnations as different galactic beings, aliens, angels, different gods, on different planets. And when you're in this body, you are born, you forget all of those things because you go through a veil of forgetfulness, and in that moment you become really bombarded with hypersensitivity. You're very different. You feel more of yourself. You feel more of the people around you. You're picking up on things that your friends and family cannot normally pick up on. What this is telling you is that you have a part of your soul that is tapping into a much greater awareness than what your body is tapping into in this third dimensional realm. So in that case, it becomes time to, go to a coach, a quantum coach such as myself or anybody else, or a psychic, or, dive into meditative states where you're truly aware of what is happening beyond the body. Find out what time period you're drawn to, and follow breadcrumbs that will allow you to understand what higher dimensional reincarnation have you had not in this body. Which one is trying to get your attention in this body? Which higher dimensional reincarnation is going to help you fulfill your soul's work or your soul's desire in this body? Now, step 2, one could be is that, being an empathic soul is very interesting, because what you're doing is it's giving you an indication that you're moving into soul expansion. There are many different soul classes, and none are better than the other. There is no competition, but we have to be able to look at the different levels at which something can exist, like the universe, so we can better understand how to apply our own nature into the system at which everything is functioning. So there are some soul classes that are predominantly human, meaning your soul is of the 5th dimension, but you have only had human reincarnations. But if you're an empath, what that means is you are using that empathic awareness in this human body to give you an insight into energy that is happening on a higher dimension. So it is urging you to push beyond your comfort zone, to truly let go of your ego, let go of the idea that we're in a 3D world and we live and die and go to hell or heaven, but really understanding that you're a soul and you have had many reincarnations, and this is a temporary, enjoyable experience that you're having as a human, but you must truly not take it so serious that you forget to realize that you're the creator and the creation. Your soul is a creator and the creation is whatever reincarnation you're in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into explaining those two reasons why you might be an empath and really give you an understanding of how to continue your journey depending on which one you resonate with. So I'm going to give you each reason and then, how to know if that's what's going on with you and how to move forward with that realization. So one is the realization that your empathic abilities is your soul giving your body an heightened sense of energy that is going on around you, because your soul wants to expand and it is using your empathic abilities in this body as a means for you to feel into energy that is beyond your body. So you have an inclination that it's time for you to expand into the higher dimensions. It is time for you as a soul to realize that this may be the reincarnation where your soul is able to hold on to a greater amount of energy in its reincarnations. The interesting thing is your soul is almost a battery of energy, and your soul is a window into the entire universe. But the identity of your soul is truly characterized about how you operate in every single reincarnation that you're in. So in the reincarnations that you might have been in, you may have not exceeded the dimensional awareness that you were in from the time of birth. So right now, if you're getting a feeling that weird things are happening, that you look in the mirror and you start to realize that you don't recognize yourself, because yourself is not your body but is your soul. And if you start to feel a level of dissociation and you start to assume that it's mental health or you're losing your mind, what's truly happening is you're remembering that your true form is a soul, and this reincarnation, this body and this mind and this person that you are right now watching these videos is simply a program that you have been unconsciously creating, and now you can control to manipulate that program and alter what you experience in this matrix by setting your mind to have certain thoughts and emotions about what you would like to experience. It's a push, it's an urge. You're not dissociating from your body or your mind or your personality. The original dissociation, which had to happen in order for you to be convinced that you are in this virtual reality, is for you to have an ego and a body. And a body is the vehicle at which your soul is able to move in this matrix, because the body is of the third dimension. So your soul is able to experience this matrix by placing itself into a third dimensional container. But the ego is an identity. It is a program that mainly is in your mind, but it runs mostly off of your subconscious mind, because over 80% of your thoughts are subconscious. Now every thought you have sends out an energetic signal to the universe, and the universe reflects back that signal, which then is what you manifest in your external world. Whatever energy is inside of you is basically reflected in the energy you see outside of you. Your internal world creates your external world. So that could be a reason is right now you're going through a spiritual awakening or ascension, or you're shifting your consciousness. And what you're truly realizing is that life as you had known it to be is not what it is. And that's step one, right? Step one right now is, do you resonate with this? Because if you resonate with what I'm saying, then it is definitely possible that your soul is using the empath archetype while you're in this body so you can evolve and reach a higher dimension. Now, step two, if you resonate with that reason, is to expand upon what to do. Now you know that your soul is supposed to be expanding, and you're understanding that every reincarnation you have as a soul is really what shapes the energetic systems that go through all of your reincarnations. So your soul evolves based on what you do in each reincarnation. So what you can do now is realize that you have a purpose that goes beyond a job or a degree or a child or a partner. You have a galactic magical purpose to move into a space where you're opening yourself up to the mysteries of the universe, and you're getting answers for every question that you have had since you were a child. It's a fascinating thing, and when you're in this position, it's going to be uncomfortable because the reality that you had known is falling apart and you're just sort of free falling. Now, what you do in this sense is you realize that you are the philosopher. You take everything that is going on and in a moment, every day, observe what is happening and just be interested by it. Don't attach to it. Don't feel guilty that it's happening or wonder how to move quickly past it. Just simply observe as if you're watching a TV show. But you observing the universe is you having a TV that can go on any and every channel that has ever existed, even shows that you didn't think was real. So it's the ultimate education system. Also, what you do is you allow the disoriented feeling that reality and life and your body is not the ultimate existence at which you thought it was. You allow that feeling to allow a closer connection to your higher self and your soul. When you're free falling and you're going through trauma or you're expanding, one of the reasons this may be happening is because the only way for you to realize that you are just not an ego is for your ego to become so uncomfortable that you almost dissociate from your mind and your body in this third dimensional realm long enough for you to realize that there is other dimensions and other realms that you can go into as a soul. Sometimes the only way for you to let go of something is for that thing to let go of you. So now you have a chance to feel into your higher self, to feel into your soul more, to feel energy in different dimensions, and instead of you absorbing it and feeling as if you're just taking on too much, you don't attach to the energy, and you can imagine putting an energetic bubble around you when you're observing people's energy or a location's energy, or in your mind or meditation you're imagining pyramids or Atlantis or the Mayans, and you're realizing that your imagination is not fake. You're actually traveling there in your mind because every thought is real. So when you're in that space, you observe and you view the universe through the lens of entertainment, like you're watching TV, and you put a bubble around you with your imagination, and nothing can come in that bubble. And you simply observe. And you go into your higher self through your heart, because there is two connections into the higher dimensions that exist in your body. One is the pineal gland, which is right here, and that is your third eye. The other one is your heart, which is your Merkaba. And when you feel a lot into your heart, you're able to feel safe on this earth, on Mother Earth. and long enough for you to feel grounded as you're going into your third eye, which is the door into everything. I have other videos about these things, so if you have any questions, just go to the rest of my videos on my channel, and I will be making more too. Now, the other reason, the second reason in which you may be an empath in this body, and if you resonate with this reason, then this is the general journey that you want to kind of pay attention to. And if not, then it's no worries. If you forget the reasons or the previous reason, go back in the video too. So the other reason is simply that you embodying the empathic archetype is you as a human being having another sense, having a way to tap into energy that is not yours from your body. It is a way for you to tap into your intuition, but instead of you feeling stuff through your mind, you're feeling it in your body. To be an empath is to feel energy. So sometimes as we reincarnate in this body, as our soul decides, hey, we want to have another go at being a human, and when it shoots our, its consciousness into a body, and that body gets electrified and lights up, and then you decide what that body is and how you associate to the world by creating an ego and healing in the old ego. And in egoic identity, what I'm simply referring to is an ego is a pattern of thoughts and emotions that you have that creates beliefs, and those beliefs generally are inside of you. And what a belief will do is it will repeat the same emotions and thoughts that created it, and then those emotions and thoughts will then create experiences outside of your body to validate those beliefs. So beliefs is how you decide what manifests in this body, and it is how you control the matrix around you. But the interesting thing is, if you're a soul and you're reincarnating as a human, one of the only ways for you to remember other reincarnations you have had in different dimensions on different planets is for your human body to get some type of tool in order for you to feel as if there is something going on beyond your body. And that curiosity will actually lead you beyond, hey, I'm just absorbing people's energy, to wait, I can feel onto energy that is not in people, that is in a plant. I can feel into the energy of a color, and then you start expanding and you realize that you can feel into the energy of anything in the universe by trusting that your imagination is not what you were told as when you were a child, that it is make-believe, but it is truly you searching the universal field of consciousness through thought, and every thought you have is real. So sometimes one of the reasons why you may be an empath in this body is so that hypersensitivity can open up in awareness that there is parts of the universe that you are remembering, and you might be led to remember that you have actually had a reincarnation as a different god or different angel or different alien, and from that resonance you realize that you may be here as a light worker and a healer and a shaman. And the interesting things about that is, in order for you to connect with all of the energy that you are supposed to connect with in this body, so you can truly embody the highest potential as a healer or a shaman or a light worker, is by connecting to the other reincarnations that you have had that has also done energy healing and light work on Earth. Or you may have had a reincarnation on a different planet as a different being, starseed, godseed, you know what I'm talking about. And from that position, you might be remembering that in that higher dimensional reincarnation, you have done galactic work. You have helped planets and star systems and solar systems move. You might have been a consultant. You might have been somebody that updated the akashic records. There are many jobs in the galactic realm, and this is where people usually hear about the term the Galactic Federation. It is an organization of different councils that can regulate how the galactic realms function. But regardless if you're working for the Galactic Federation or you're truly just a higher dimensional being that is here in this universe to create and heal, then you remembering it in this body, and you will only remember the reincarnations that actually can benefit you. You will only remember details of your soul's past experiences, but they're not past, but we have to say past sometimes because it gives our mind a reference that this has happened to lead up to what has happened now. In that moment, you realizing the higher dimensional reincarnation that you might have had that is not a human can allow you to continue the work that that reincarnation has been doing in the higher dimensions. And one of the only reasons why you may be remembering it in a human body is because the reincarnation you're having as a human might be here to send data and information to the reincarnation you have had as an intergalactic being. So then that galactic being knows how to continue their work, to continue their mission. And that mission might be in relation to how Earth can relate to the other galactic planets and solar systems in our universal realm. Everything is connected, so that may be a reason why that's going on now for you. Now, what do you do in that situation if you realize that you have had another reincarnation or reincarnations in different dimensions, in different planets as a different being than a human, and that the work, that higher dimensional reincarnation of you is doing, and the work that you're doing as a human combine? Truly, in this particular situation, you're going to just try to connect to your higher self to a point where you begin to remember that your higher self is simply a way for your soul in this body to connect to the different reincarnations you have had in the higher dimensions. Because there is something called a higher ego. An ego is an identity. So a higher ego is the different reincarnations that your soul has had. It is the identity of your soul. The higher self is simply a way for you to look at something that is above your body long enough for you to realize that you are in the higher dimensions and in the lower dimensions at the same time. So when this begins to happen, you're going to want to be drawn to people. Start to manifest and believe that you're going to attract people that are going to help you and guide you into opening up the skill sets that you may need to utilize in this body. Those skill sets might be being an akashic reader, being a quantum healer, being a Reiki healer, being psychic, different things like that. Having the ability to rearrange somebody's DNA, or doing spell work or magic to lift up the collective or your own life. You're going to go through a series of initiations and tests so you can actually unlock these powers and abilities long enough for you to realize that your job in this body is to be here on Earth and to be working and creating a business or working in a business that lifts the collective consciousness and teaches people about the higher dimensions and the lower dimensions. You are here as a teacher and a healer, and that is when you embody that state you'll start to remember the other reincarnation you have had as that being and what that being was doing. Then you remember in this human body, how can you connect what that being of you, the reincarnation you have had as that being, how to connect what it or they are doing to what you are doing in this body. Truly, they're both you. Every reincarnation you have had is you. But sometimes you have to explain things to your mind in a way in where it can understand a concept that is above its original composition. The mind is the mind is the medium. It is the workspace that happens in between your brain and the universal brain. It's your mind. And so our mind is really our soul's ability to search and be in universal consciousness from this body. But the mind is trained to work from the body up. So there are many cases where if you're realizing as a galactic worker, as a shaman, how do you help the spiritual war that is going on, the galactic war? Because a lot of people right now are coming into the awareness that they have been a starseed or a godseed or a certain angel or alien, and they're realizing that the higher dimensional being they're remembering, its main job was to help Earth. And now that they're on Earth, they have a way, the soul has a way to bring the work that your higher dimensional reincarnation is doing into Earth through your third dimensional body. And that is the key right there. We had to circle all the way back around, but now that is a missing key at which you guys have to understand. If you're an empath because your body needed a way to tap into a hypersensitivity so you can remember that you have had another reincarnation in a higher dimension on a different planet as a different being, and that being is working in the galactic realms to help Earth. But in order for that being to bring that empowering energy into the third dimensional realm, there has to be a Trojan horse. There has to be a way for that energy to be packaged from that higher dimension into the lower dimension. So from your higher dimensional reincarnation to your lower dimensional reincarnation, from the being that you're remembering you were because your empathic sensitivity is making you wake up to that fact, to your human body. And that is how you bring the energy onto Earth. And that in a nutshell is explaining to you how light workers and galactic workers are bringing their assisted energy and help into the Earth realm. So if that's the case, you are a really important part of this spiritual warfare. You are a really important part in freeing Earth, in empowering Earth, and allowing Earth to move from a disempowered resource planet where beings are using the energy here as a way to harvest certain frequencies for their own benefit, into moving into a space where you're actually realizing that there are a set of beings that are here to allow the matrix and the field to be more uplifted so people can come into their soul and their higher self and their spiritual awakening or ascension at a smoother manner. And when this happens, the entire Earth raises and it becomes a empowering vibration within the galactic realm. And then in that situation, the Galactic Federation, which is just like a galactic UN, they can welcome Earth in because now Earth is filled with more high vibrational, high conscious energy. So we're all lifting Earth up together to make it something that we can be proud of as souls, but truly because there is a part of our soul that has reincarnated as a different being on a different planet, and that being really wants to help Earth and has been trying to help Earth. So when you remember that being, you can activate the energy of that being into the energy of Earth. You can open the channel from the reincarnation of you being that higher dimensional being into the reincarnation of you being a human. And when you connect it, you can build the resources in those higher dimensions and then send the resources here. And then you can complete the cycle of what that reincarnation of your soul as that galactic being was trying to do. And it got you as a soul to reincarnate as a human, so then you could take energy from one place and bring it to another place. You can take energy from your higher dimensional reincarnation that you have had as a galactic being in a higher dimension on a different planet that wants to help Earth, and bring that energy into Earth by you having another reincarnation in Earth, where you remember that you're supposed to receive the energy from that other reincarnation. Thank you for sitting with me and actually allowing me to go through that channel, because I really want to explain to you the two purposes that you are experiencing the empathic archetype. There are two reasons. There are many other reasons, but in this video I'm specifically talking about two reasons why you may be an empath right now. All right? Hopefully you guys have a good day, and I want you to realize that you're supposed to have fun here. You're supposed to be kicked back with your arms behind your head right after you just did some art. I want you to do art, create a business, create your dream life, and act like it's no big deal. Be so laid back that you just allow everything to happen in a flow. Also, I have a book coming out. By the time you watch this, it may already be out. It's How to Go Through a Spiritual Awakening as an Empath, and in this book I teach you how to remember the powerful gifts that you have as an empath that you may not be aware of, and how to use them to tap into higher dimensional abilities, magic, certain types of healing and dimensional creation. There can be a whole world that you're not aware of simply because you do not know how to use a tool that is you being an empath. So if you would like to get information on that, just search Ambition Over Fear on Amazon, or How to Go Through a Spiritual Awakening as an Empath. And if you have any questions or you want more information, just send me an email at Atlas Opia at ambitionoverfear.com. Or if you go onto my Facebook page, Ambition Over Fear, you can send me a message there. I post a lot of videos there too, and I have a Facebook group called the Ambition Over Fear Empaths. Join the movement. I love all of you. Stay powerful, stay vibrant. All right, bye.